So, what's the fastest way to learn English? I mean, that's the big question, right? Everyone wants to know.
Yeah, it really is. And look, there's no magic wand you can wave.
Definitely not.
But the core idea, it really just boils down to doing it every single day. Reading, listening, and crucially speaking.
Sounds simple enough, but sticking with it, that's the real challenge, isn't it? Like with anything worthwhile.
Exactly. It's easy to get distracted by all the shiny new apps or complicated methods out there.
Right.
But fundamentally, building those daily habits in those three areas, that's what really gets the needle moving.
Okay, so let's unpack that then. We're going to sort of dive into why reading, listening, and speaking daily are so critical for learning faster.
Yeah, and maybe give some practical ways you can actually, weave them into your routine.
Think of it like understanding the engine, maybe.
Yeah.
The engine that drives fluency.
Good analogy. And it's worth saying, these aren't totally separate things. They really feed into each other. Well, as we get into each one, you'll see how, like, reading helps listening helps speaking. It all works together for a more intuitive feel for English.
Okay, got it. So let's kick off with reading. Reading every day, it's not just about learning new words, is it?
Oh, much more than that.
Ah,
Reading daily is this really powerful way for your brain to just soak up the language structure. Natural.
soak it up.
Yeah, like you start recognizing common sentence patterns, how words usually hang together.
Yeah.
You get a feel for it. It's more like intuition than, just memorizing grammar rules from a book.
That makes sense. It's a bit like how kids learn their first language, right? They're just surrounded by it constantly.
Exactly. They hear things, maybe see them written down over and over.
And the patterns just sink in.
Precisely. Reading gives you that repeated exposure visually. And what's really interesting is when you see a new word in context, like in a story or an article, your brain links it to that situation.
Ah, so it sticks better than just a random word list.
Way better. Rote memorization is, well, it's tough. Context is king for vocabulary.
So people shouldn't feel like they have to dive straight into, I don't know, Shakespeare or dense academic papers.
God, no. Absolutely not. The best stuff to read is whatever you find interesting, honestly.
Like what?
News articles, short stories, blogs, even scrolling through Instagram captions or reading subtitles on a show. Anything works.
Just make it enjoyable.
Yes. The key is making it a regular thing, something you actually do each day, not a chore.
We actually saw this example, didn't we? Someone who made huge progress reading Harry Potter in English.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. They'd read, jot down words they didn't know.
And then actually try to use them.
Exactly. They made it active. And, when you start seeing words you learned pop up again later in different places.
Oh, that's a great feeling.
It really is. It builds confidence, gives you that little reward, makes you want to keep going.
Okay, so reading daily. Patterns, vocab and context, confidence boost. Got it. Let's switch gears to listening. Listening every day, I think this one gets overlooked sometimes.
You're totally right. People think, oh, I know that word, I've seen it written. But hearing it, that's a whole different ball game.
How do you mean?
Well, pronunciation. You might see W-A-N-T-T-O 1,000 times, but until you hear someone actually say it quickly.
It sounds like wanna.
Exactly. And if you've only ever seen it written, you might not catch wanna in a fast conversation. Leads to misunderstandings, and it affects your own pronunciation too, if you're guessing based on spelling.
Right. So daily listening trains your ear.
Precisely. Gets
Yeah.
your brain used to the actual speed, the rhythm, the intonation of spoken English. Doesn't matter if it's podcasts, YouTube, TV shows, whatever. You're tuning your ear.
What's a good way to practice listening? Should you always have subtitles on?
Well, subtitles can help, definitely. But it's also really beneficial to challenge yourself. Try listening without them sometimes.
Even if you don't understand everything.
Especially then. Maybe you only catch like 30% at first. That's okay. Yeah. Your brain is still working hard, picking out sounds, rhythms, repeated words. It's training, even if it feels difficult.
So there's value even in partial comprehension.
Absolutely. And to make it even more effective, you can try active listening.
Active listening.
Yeah, like pause the audio or video, try to repeat what you just heard, even try to mimic the accent or the way they say it.
Ooh, mimicking. That sounds potentially awkward.
It can feel a bit silly at first, yeah. But honestly, it's incredibly good for improving your own pronunciation and really tuning into those subtleties of spoken language.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got reading, listening. Now, for the one I think scares people the most, speaking daily.
Ah, yes. the speaking hurdle.
How do you get past that fear?
First off, just acknowledge it's normal. So many learners worry about mistakes, sounding, foolish. It's super common.
But you have to speak to learn to speak.
That's the fundamental truth. Reading and listening are amazing. They build your foundation, but they are not substitutes for actually opening your mouth and producing the language.
It's like learning guitar. You can watch videos all day, read music theory.
But until you actually pick it up and start strumming and hitting wrong notes.
Exactly. You won't learn.
That's a perfect analogy. And think about your first language. You didn't start speaking in perfect sentences.
Definitely not. Lots of babbling first.
Right. You made tons of mistakes, weird grammar. It's just part of how we learn language. Mistakes aren't failures. They're like data points for your brain.
Okay, so mistakes are good, but how do you start speaking daily? Especially if you're alone, maybe feeling a bit isolated.
Well, surprisingly effective. Talk to yourself.
Really? Just talk to myself.
Yeah, narrate your day. Describe what you're doing while cooking. Think out loud in English. It gets you forming sentences using vocab without any pressure.
Okay, low stakes. I like it. What about talking to other people?
That's the next step, ideally. Speaking clubs are great, online or offline. Or language exchange apps, like Tandem or HelloTalk.
Right, where you find someone learning your language and you teach each other.
Exactly. It's practice for both of you. Takes the pressure off a bit.
Now, there was another suggestion we saw, recording yourself speaking English. And then listening back. That sounds intense.
It can feel a bit confronting, hearing your own voice, your own mistakes. But honestly, the insights you get are incredible. You suddenly hear the things others might hear where you hesitate, maybe a pronunciation thing you didn't realize. You become your own coach.
Okay. Focus self-correction.
Exactly. So the more you speak, whether it's to yourself, a partner, or recording, the more that speaking muscle develops.
You build confidence, it starts feeling more natural.
Precisely. Fluency isn't about being perfect. It's just about being able to communicate your thoughts, effectively and without struggling quite so much.
Okay, so pulling this all together, the secret sauce isn't really a secret, is it? It's just consistent daily work on reading, listening, A&D speaking.
That's really the core message. There's no magic bullet, no shortcut that skips the need for regular effort in those 3 key skills.
Even if it's just a little bit each day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, say, 30 minutes for each. Over time, that consistency adds up to really significant progress.
It's like going to the gym, maybe. You don't see abs after one workout.
Exactly. You won't be fluent overnight, but stick with it for, say, 90 days consistent daily practice, and you'll likely be pretty surprised at how far you've come.
And it's okay to have bad days, right? Days where you just don't feel like it.
Oh, absolutely. That's totally normal. Everyone has off days. The key is not letting one bad day derail you completely.
Just get back on track the next day.
Yeah, or even just do something small on that bad day. Read one page, listen to one song or a short podcast clip, say a few sentences out loud.
Yeah, keep the habit alive.
Exactly. Every little bit counts towards keeping that momentum going.
Okay, so for listeners thinking, right, I want to start today, what are some super quick, actionable tips, like first steps?
Okay, quick tips for reading. Pick something you actually enjoy. Comics, blogs, news about your hobbies, whatever. Aim for maybe just 10 minutes to start.
10 minutes, doable, listening.
Mix it up. YouTube, Netflix, podcasts, music. Try some passive listening, just having it on. And try some active listening, really focusing, maybe without subtitles sometimes.
Got it. And speaking.
Make it daily. Talk to yourself. Find a language partner on an app. Record yourself for 2 minutes. Just do something out loud in English every single day.
Excellent. Simple, practical starting points. Framing it as an opportunity, not just a chore, probably helps too.
Oh, absolutely. Learning a language opens up so much. New information, new connections, new ways of thinking. It's genuinely enriching.
So to really hammer home the key takeaway from our deep dive today, it's the power of that daily triple threat: reading, listening, speaking.
That's it. Make them consistent parts of your routine, however small, and you will see results.
Embrace the process.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself. Notice the small wins.
You've absolutely got this. Just start today. Even 5 minutes in each area is a start.
It really is. Every step forward counts.
And maybe try to see it less as climbing a huge mountain and more as exploring a really interesting new path.
Well put. Focus on the journey of discovery.
Thanks for diving deep with us on this. Hopefully that's given you some clear, practical ways to speed up your English learning journey. Until next time, keep at it.